If you are looking for a clean, high probability forex setup, this video is for you. Let's review the markets together using my break and retest strategy and identify the best opportunities for the week ahead. So starting off, I've analyzed all these pairs. So about 25 of them. I've analyzed all the pairs. So I find opportunity in these 6 pairs. So I'll do like this, so that I'll be seeing only the pairs. So now starting off with USD CHF. So USD CHF is a very simple trade. So on the weekly time frame, you can see that the weekly time frame is bullish. This is the higher high and this is the higher low. So for the weekly time frame to have a pullback, then the daily time frame became bearish to have that pullback to this area of interest. So you see this is the lower low and this is the lower high, and price retraced back to this area of interest. You see whenever we're under we push down, whenever we are above we push up. So if we go to the left hand side, you see that price have respected this zone multiple times in the past. You see, use it whenever we're under we push down, whenever we're under we push down, clean. So whenever we're under we push down. So price is likely to repeat what it have done here in the past to continue the sell to create a new lower low before continuing the buy on the weekly time frame. And if we go back to the weekly time frame, you see that the weekly time frame has a very interesting pattern, which is the inverted head and shoulder. So and this is CHF price is at quote unquote the lowest point that's been more like rejecting, consolidating around this zone. So if you see this pattern, we have inverted head and shoulder. You see a very clean inverted head and shoulder. So if price this week now, the price should retrace back to this place here, candle close, then next week I'll be looking for the buy to continue the higher time frame momentum. Hope you understand. So now if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you see that also the 4-hour time frame is bearish. You see the 4-hour time frame is bearish, more like creating a minor head and shoulder here. You see, this is the left, this is the head, this is the right shoulder. Price have broke, so now it has this kind of retesting this zone to just have a very short sell to this place down here, which is a very simple trade. So you see the 4-hour time frame is bearish, the daily time frame is also bearish, so it's kind of a perfect counter trend trade setting up for next week. You can see weekly bullish, daily bearish, 4-hour bearish. So that's what I'm looking for on USD CHF. So if we move down to AUD CHF, I'm also looking to buy because of the CHF. Not really because of the CHF, that's what market is setting up for next week. So if we go down to the weekly time frame, we see that the weekly time frame has a very big lower low. See, this is the lower low and this is the lower high. That is how I make my structure. So price retrace back to this weekly area of interest. You see, whenever we are up, we serve as support, a very strong zone. So now we are down, it's more likely to serve as resistance to continue the sell down. So price has been kind of rejecting this zone. You see the rejection candle. So if we move down to the daily time frame, we are bearish on the daily time frame. This market structure is kind of confusing for the beginners because If a beginner approach this market, you are likely to miss out on reading the market structure on what it have done here. So let me explain. So you see, this is the lower low and this is the lower high. So let me bring this here so that it will be clear. This is the lower low and this is the lower high. You see, candle, this bearish candle did not body close below this lower low. Let me zoom in so that you see clearly. You see, it did not body close below this candle, so we are still bearish. You see, it did not body close below this candle, so we are still bearish. Yes, that minor space here matters a lot in market structure. So, and you see, price rallied up, did not also body close above this zone. You see, did not body close, just weak the lower high. And on Friday candle, we have a clean rejection engulfing candle, indicating that sellers have entered the market. Understand? So now you see that price have already rejected this zone, not a really clear zone, but it's also valid. So now, if Monday candle, I'm anticipating Monday candle to open, kind of continue the bearish momentum down to this place. You get, I'm not actually looking to continue to take this thing down and create a new lower low, because you see, this zone is a very strong zone. Whenever price approach it, I'm anticipating a rejection, which is that's why I want to take my profits here. Although I don't normally set take profits, I keep it open. So I'll just set an alarm here. Once the trade give me an entry signal on the lower time frame, I'll set an alarm here. So once I take it and it gets to my take profit, I'll just observe it. If I see slow down, then I'll close. If no slow down, then I'll continue to hold. So let me show you the rejection it has done in the past. You see, when price approaches zone, it rejects. You see, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. A very, 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 very strong support and resistance zone. So if price should approach this zone, is likely to do what it have done on the left side the past. So that is why I want to take my profit here. So if we move down to the 4-hour time frame, you see that the 4-hour time frame is also bearish, and the 4-hour time frame has its own pattern, which is a very, very good indication. So you see a clean double top, and price have broke the neckline of the double top, retest it, then looking for very short sell to this place. You see the pattern now, very clear. This is the double top, you see. So that is why I'm looking for, and I'll be looking for entry signal to have the sell down. If you notice on the first pair, USD CHF, there's CHF there looking to sell, anticipating the strong Swiss francs, and AUD CHF too, anticipating the strong Swiss francs. So that is that, and let's move on to the next pair. So I hope you understand why I'm looking to sell this trade from here now. So on the lower time frame, I'll be looking for entry signal around here on the lower time frame, 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Then I'll look for shifter structure and engulfing to take the trades to the downside. So moving on to Euro JPY. So Euro JPY is the third pair on the list. So the third pair on the list, you can see on the weekly time frame, this pair is something else. So it has been consolidating here for since when? Since May, earlier of this year. So, and this week might be the week it will break above. I'm not sure, but using the market structure, that is what I'm seeing. So if you check now the weekly time frame, we are bullish. It is the higher high and this is the higher low. So price has been rejecting this zone. You see the way I mark my structure. It's not coincident that price did not body close above this zone. It's because market participants understand that this is the higher low and this is the higher high. So you see price has been weakening above, rejecting this higher low without body close the zone. So last week, upper week, we have a very strong rejection, and last week we have a feel of it. So this week I'm anticipating this candle to open like this, then on this retracement back it will give more like a to open like this. On this retracement back to give more like a rejection here, so then we'll now have the push to the upside. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm expecting this next week candle to do. You understand? It might create a new higher high, or it will just stop here. So that's what I'm anticipating the next week candle to do. So, and you see this place now, it's on the weekly time frame, it will just be a single candle. If next week candle should do something like this, but if we go down to the daily time frame, you see that the daily time frame will be a structure. Network, not now. Okay, you see that the daily time frame will be a structure. Why? Because if you check very well, you see that the daily time frame we have, we are bullish on the daily time frame. You see, we are bullish on the daily time frame. This is a higher high, this is a higher low, and let's look left and observe that structure. You see, this place now is a very strong support and resistance zone. Whenever we are under, we serve as resistance. Look left, resistance. You see 4 consecutive rejection, and behold, the last 2 rejection happened recently, and now price have broke above it, have a retest with rejection candle. So I'm anticipating this push to the upside. You get? So if you check it in the previous break, when we have this break, when price came to retest it, it did not slow down. You get? So when we have this break, when price came to retest it, it slowed down, but the structure was not clear. You see? So when price broke it, no slowdown. You understand? So now price have broken above the zone, and price have slowed down. So anticipating the clean, simple push to the upside. Although we have a kind of inverted head and shoulder, but not the cleanest. It's not the cleanest. You can do it like this: left head, right shoulder, more like 2 right shoulder. So now price have broken it, more like retest the neckline. So not the cleanest. So but the pattern is there. So if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you see that the 4-hour time frame is also bullish, and one price broke above this, came back to retest this zone, be more like consolidate around this area. So once price open now on pre-London session on Monday, so I will look for my entry signal around here just to take the trade up for a quick 1:3.5. So hope you understand. Yes. Okay, let's continue. So the next one is Euro card. So Euro card on the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame is bearish. Weekly time frame is bearish. So this trade is not the best, but it's just on my watch list, and let's see what market will do this week. It's not the best. So you see the weekly time frame is bearish. This is the lower low and this is the lower high. So let me mark it very well because this structure look confusing for the beginners. You get? So let me start from here. No, let me start from here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So all these plays are market structure because we are still in between here, this zone and this zone, this lower low and this lower high. So something like this, or this are market structure. So immediately we body close above this zone, this candle, this ginormous bearish candle, body close below this zone, then we create a new lower low. So price came up, body close above this zone. We now have higher high, higher low, market structure, market structure. So we now body close above this zone, making this body close above this candle. Yes, you see, I don't know if you guys are seeing it well. This candle, you see, this was the higher high, this was the higher high, and this is the higher low. So check this candle now. See, you see that bullish candle, this bullish candle, body close above it. You see, body close above it, making this the new higher high. So we have a pullback. We have a pullback, then we have a new higher high here. I don't know if you understand. So we have a pullback and we have a new higher high here, and this candle body closed there to turn bearish. So let me show you how the structure is here. So this is more like a minor class we are having here. You see how the structure is here. It is exactly what I'm seeing there. You see, this was the higher high, and this was the higher low. This was the higher low. This was the higher high and this was the higher low. Now this candle, this one body close above this. Body close above this. Okay. Okay. The body close above this. So this one now became the higher high, and this one the higher low. So when price retrace back, which is this retracement here, because we engulf this candle, so this is a valid retracement. So now it now became the higher high and the higher low. You get? So which is exactly what happened here. Higher low, then higher high. So immediately this bearish candle body closed there, so we now became the lower low and the lower high. Hope you understand. So that is what I mean. So that is how I mark my structure on the weekly time frame. So we are bearish. So if we move down to the daily time frame, the daily time frame is also bearish. Daily time frame is also bearish. So and you see price, this is a valley zone. This is a valley zone. If you check down to the left hand side, is a valley zone. So you see the valley zone, the valley zone. So if you see now, price have created a new lower low and lower high. So what I'm anticipating for, I'm anticipating for this daily candle to have a push to the upside. To have a push to the upside. This is not the best trade, but I'm just putting it here on my watch list because the kind of low design, and I've seen something like this happened in the past. So we'll have, if you have a candlestick that pull back here, we get bullish candle, maybe one rejection, then I'll take the trade down. Not a weak retest, and I'll take the trade down. So if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, so the 4-hour time frame is kind of having the pullback right now. You see the 4-hour time frame having the pullback. So forget a clean pullback, and it's clear, the structure is clear on the daily time frame, then I'll take the trade down. So but if next week candle should open, Monday candle should open and come to this place, you see that it has violated and invalidated this trade. So moving next to the next pair, which is the 5th pair, which is AUDJPY. So AUDJPY on the weekly time frame, you see that the weekly time frame is bullish. Weekly time frame is bullish. Higher high, higher low, higher high. We broke the structure. Became lower low, lower high. I missed this trade, this sell to this place. I actually saw it, but I missed it. So lower low, lower low, lower high. Immediately this candle body close became higher high, higher low. So I'm actually waiting for a weak retest. A weak retest to this place. This weak candle should out weak retest here, then have the push to the upside. A very short buy. So if we move down to the daily time frame, you see that the daily time frame is kind of approaching the zone. So the trade is not yet ready. It's not yet ready. So I need a candle to come into this place. If you have a nice bearish candle, come into this place, give me rejection. I'm sure by that time this EMA will still serve as support, give rejection, then we'll have the buy to the upside. Also, if we check the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame is bearish. Sorry, the 4-hour time frame is bearish, and we don't really need this to be bearish. You get, so because the weekly and the daily is already bullish, so that is why. So once I have a weak retest, I'll be very, 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 very conservative in entering this trade. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. And last but not the least, CAD JPY. So CAD JPY is just on my list because I don't think price can have the move this week, but it can still have the move this week. You can still have the move this week. So but I still don't think, but if you have the move and give me clean structure, I'll take it. So that is why I'm watching it here. So on the weekly time frame we are bullish, on the daily time frame we are also bullish. So price have not shown sign of retracement yet. So if we have a candle come down here, body close here, give me rejection, I'll take the trade to the. If you have candlestick that come down here, give me rejection, I'll take the trade to the upside. You get. So and if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, we are still bullish on the 4-hour time frame. So if when the retracement is happening on the daily time frame, this one will now be when the pullback is happening on the daily time frame, then this time frame will turn bearish. You see, but the close below here to turn bearish. So and that doesn't really matter because 2 time frame is already in sync, which is the weekly and the daily time frame. So this zone is not really a very strong zone, area of interest, but it's still valid because we have one rejection here. See, when price approach it to pull down, one rejection. When price broke above here, when price broke above here, came back, retest it, so you have the push, which is 2, and this one when price come below here, use it as resistance, push down, which is 3. So price is likely to do it again on the 4th time. So guys, that is that, and that is market review. That is market forecast for next week. Let me know what you think on the comment section. Let's grow together.